My professional life has involved forecasting because that's what I do or have done to help other people make better decisions, hopefully. But several years ago, I attended a Penn Engaging Minds event in New York City. And Phil Tetlock and Bob Mellers were speaking about the Good Judgment Project, which was very intriguing to me. And so I inquired about joining as a forecaster, and several months later, when positions opened up, I became a forecaster. The tournament taught me that, and in a very humbling way, that I knew a lot less about the world than I thought I knew. And so that, to begin with, spurred my thirst for knowledge and information. It also gave me a perspective about risk-taking, because in my first year, I was not a super forecaster. I had to earn that status, and I was involved in a marketplace which involved essentially trading. And I learned a lot about risk-taking and how much I was either risk-averse or overly risky. Learning about things from a perspective of other information has been very important. But once I became a super forecaster, in particular, what was helpful to me was the perspective of others. The sharing of information and the ability to test your own beliefs and hypotheses for bias by taking into account what others have said or analyzed, as well as information that contradicts your own, has been very valuable to me. The process evolved over time for me. And one of the things that is important to me is to use historical information, but not to be over-reliant on it. If there is the ability to compare against similar situations in the past, I'm very cognizant of using that information, but only to the extent that it is truly relevant to the current circumstances. Beyond that, frequently adjusting my own forecast based upon new information and new perspectives of others is extremely valuable. It's very easy to take a position and sit back and say, that's it. However, the real world is a very active one, and often things change. And forecasts should change based upon the events and the happenings of the world. And I found it's extremely useful to pay a lot of attention to those events and frequently re-examine my own forecasts and see if they need to be updated. I think that one of the things that would be extremely useful would be to participate in Good Judgment's open forecasting competition, because you can test your own abilities and learn about the things that both limit your ability to forecast and make you a better forecaster. And through that process, become somebody who is more adept at forecasting. The Good Judgment Incorporated itself has put together various training methods which have been very useful to me as a super forecaster, and I'm sure to others. But as an individual, just forecasting and using that forecasting experience can be a very valuable thing to learn about yourself and the process of forecasting, and what you do well and what you do less well, and then to seek ways of improving upon those weaknesses. My wife and I have two different philosophies of investment. She has been involved over the years as a partner in an investment firm that does alternative investments, which are allegedly less risky, but by my lights carry a risk that is sometimes more than what I like. I, on the other hand, am much more risk-averse, and although less risk-averse than I was when I first started participating in Good Judgment Project. my professional career has been oriented towards reducing the risk that decision makers have. And perhaps I've taken that point of view in my own approach to investing, which my wife feels is overly conservative. I think that the forecasting as part of the Good Judgment Project has given me a window into my own risk-taking perspective and moved me at least somewhat closer to my wife's point of view. And I think that that's a very useful thing in real life as well as, from a standpoint of participating as a super forecaster.